Have you ever been making a YouTube video and someone just comes up and just starts licking their own butthole in the middle of your filming? Because this is what I have to contend with. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Do you hear this? It's like midnight and this has been going on for like 6 hours. The people upstairs, I know it's like, oh haha funny, like the people upstairs are so loud, but like they are outrageously loud. It's like stomping, dropping things. It sounds like they're like lifting heavy objects and throwing them down onto the floor on cue. And like there's loud music. And anyway, I've just been having like a crying jag for like an hour, and like the music is so loud that it's like vibrating the entire house, and like it's just like I feel very trapped. Like I can't get away from it, because even if I put headphones in and like play white noise or something, I can like still feel the bass line, and there's like no getting away from it, and it just really freaks me out. And I watched the most recent episode of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is like one of my favorite shows, and it was like really dark, and I don't know, I don't really ever know if I'm like using the word triggered appropriately, but I don't know if I was like triggering. I think it was like, you know, I saw it and I related to it. The main character is depressed, and it was like a tough episode. So I guess sometimes when I see like TV shows or something that I really relate to, it's like upsetting in some ways. But I guess sometimes I feel like I'm just crying a lot for no reason. And that's the fun of the depression, I guess, is sometimes I just cry and cry and cry for no reason. And I always try and stop, and I kind of sometimes can't, and then I get really scared and anxious because I'm like, what if I literally never stop crying and I just can't stop? And what I do in those situations, or at least what I did tonight, which ended up working, was just cry more, which is like, probably sounds like silly advice, but your body can't physically cry forever. So if you just cry until you can't cry anymore, then you're done crying. So that's what I did. It's not, you know, I didn't reinvent the wheel here, but if you can't stop crying, just keep crying. It's your body's way of telling you gotta keep crying until you're done. It's like pooping. I say this all the time. This is okay. So look, as much as I'm like the first person to be like, the stigma around mental illness and depression is stupid, I'm also like really hard on myself, and I'm always like, why can't you just be like other people? Assuming that other people aren't depressed, which is not true. A lot of people are depressed, but I just get frustrated, and one thing I do to help myself get out of it is I just mentally replace depression with irritable bowel syndrome, and I replace crying with diarrhea. Shout out to people who have actual IBS. That sounds terrible, but I think of that as something that you really can't help. And like if you have something where you're like in pain or uncomfortable all the time, like that's not your fault. And if there's something that it makes you do, like cry or poop or whatever the case may be, like those things are both just things you have to do and like get out of your system, and you can't help it, and it doesn't make you bad or weak or anything. This is it's a very diarrhea positive vlog. We're really having a great time here, pooping and crying. That's what I always say. Hashtag pooping and crying. Oh, that's embarrassing. Like, hey, the internet, look at my massive white lacy granny bra. I'm probably gonna edit that out.
This is the time of day when I make myself an iced coffee, and Cake loves ice cubes.
Hello.
So if I look strange, it's because I'm only wearing foundation and no other makeup. But I wanted to talk about, basically, I woke up really depressed this morning, and I was like, how do I, like, figure out a way to motivate myself to do the stuff I need to do and, like, go to rehearsal and stuff. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna put on a lot of makeup because that makes me feel happy and it's, like, fun and something to do. And I remember that I had these samples of foundations I wanted to try from Sephora, so I got the Fenty one, which everyone's been, like, going nuts over, but I have dry skin, so I wasn't really sure. Everybody's like, it's great unless you have dry skin, but my skin's kind of combination-y, so I wanted to give it a shot. You can tell it's dry. It's like, the finish is like foundation plus powder, basically. Like, I don't really think I'm gonna powder my face that much, but on my more oily spots, it is, like, sitting really nice, and I did moisturize. I did a face mask, like, a couple nights ago, and then I just, like, have been moisturizing the crap out of my skin because it's super hot. It's super cold, and then, like, artificial heat's been coming on, and it's been, like, a whole mess for dry skin people. So, but I wanted to just see what it, in film, what it looked like before I put on other makeup. I think this shade might just be, like, super slightly too pale for me, so I'm probably also gonna put on, like, a tiny bit of bronzer or something, and so I wanted to get, like, what's the shade look like, and of course, like, the lighting in here is not amazing. I'll try and, like, get under my lamp so you can see. I'm like, no, I just kind of look yellow.
I don't think I've ever shown on YouTube how Cake drinks water, but this is how she drinks water. We call it dippin' and dunkin'. Sorry, my dishwasher's going. Dippin' and dunkin', and dippin' and dunkin', and dippin' and dunkin'. Oh yeah, dip and dunk, girl. She kind of just started doing this one day when she was like 6 months old, and now she doesn't stick her face in the bowl anymore. She just goes in for a nice dainty sip.
Okay, I'm back from a long night of rehearsing, and I like the way this foundation came out. I think I didn't really powder. I powdered my nose and my forehead, and my nose, of course, did the thing that with the glasses, you know, it comes off on the sides, but also, like, eyeliner happening. But yeah, I think it looks good. Like, this cheek is dry, but, like, this one still looks pretty frickin' flawless. Like, very smooth and nice. Like, yeah, is my skin probably a tiny bit too dry for this foundation? Yeah, probably. But, it's winter. I'm trying to, like, do some moisturizing. But I think I like it at least as much as my other go-to Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. It's more coverage for sure. And it's a good shade match, so yeah, it's shade 120, I think. Yeah, I would recommend this. I would maybe buy it. Okay, so I always start every vlog with, like, okay, so I went to therapy this morning, and I'm feeling really energetic and, like, in a good mood today. I feel like I have things I want to get done, like chores and stuff. I'm sorry, my hand is super wobbly. I'll do that. I have, like, a bunch of things that I have to do today, and I'm actually kind of motivated to do them, which is, like, insane. Like, what is that? Who is this person? We'll see how the day rolls out. I'm, like, always a little cautious to assume that my mood's gonna stay the same for an entire day, because that's pretty much never the case. But, yeah, I'm also kind of forcing myself to take a rest for a little bit and, like, just cook some food and eat it and not force myself to do 90 things at once, because I just spent the morning, I had therapy, and then I took a walk around, like, Lincoln Center-ish area, and I went to Petco.
Hey Marlo, what's that? Did you know that the food inside of there needs to be taken out of the bag first before you eat it? Did that cross your dumb mind?
I went to Sephora because it's the VIB sale and it's 20% off, and I was just kind of like, you know, I don't need anything right now, and as much as I was, like, tempted to get some stuff just so I could be like, oh, 20% off, I'm like, Black Friday's coming up. Also, like, the Sephora in the Time Warner Center scares me a little bit. Like, it's soups bougie, and I feel like I don't belong there. That's terrible. It's like they can see into my bank account, and they know I don't have any intention of buying anything. And they were right. I didn't buy anything. Today was a nice day in terms of, like, you know, I have a lot of, like, I've lived in New York City for, like, not quite 6 months, like 5 months. And it's been an adjustment. I mean, it's a lot of the things that they say about the city are true. And even if you're not like a Pollyanna from, you know, a small town where everybody's like besties, which I'm not. I'm from like the suburbs where, you know, people aren't overly friendly or overly unfriendly. It is an adjustment to get used to the degree of like just pure crazy town, like dramatics that just happen in public on any given day. And it just can be really like, oh, like strangers will talk to you and you'll witness weird stuff, and it's just like you kind of get used to it. And I think I'm finally reaching a place where, well, I'm not getting used to it, but like I'm able to see the good sometimes. Like today was a good day. Like people were just like nice overall. Like people would like, you know, move aside on the train so I could sit, or, you know, wave at me frantically to make sure I didn't sit in a pile of urine. A pool of urine. Gotta get those grammaticals right. I had a nice conversation with a barista at Starbucks about holiday plans. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like wow, maybe New York isn't all assholes. Well, one man got in my face and yelled bitch, but I didn't. It wasn't about me. Like he was kind of yelling bitch, and I think it was like in my direction, and he was kind of yelling it at everybody. I didn't take it personally, and I think part of it too is that I've officially switched over into listening to Christmas music mode, not exclusively. I've also been really into disco lately. But when I'm listening to Christmas music, I think just the world seems nicer. Like, it's just easy to be like, everyone's holiday cheer, everyone's neighbors, we all live in the same city, and it's great. Cake's gonna tingle, and Marla's gonna dinkle, and poop's gonna sprinkle all your poopers away. Everybody's waiting for the man with the cake. Excuse me. People pay a lot of money to hear me sing, you know that? Like, stores are starting to play Christmas music. Like, going into the Time Warner Center was fun. It's just like a bougie mall Galleria thing. It's like a super, super rich people mall. It has like all the designers, and like even like the chain stores, like the Sephora has like the Natasha Denona palettes and like all the really expensive products. Even in there, they were starting to play Christmas music, and I was like, oh, like I'm such a consumer whore. Like I love the mall at Christmas time. It's like my happy place. And I guess I was sort of like, oh, like being depressed around the holidays is difficult, and I'm sure it will be, like, no doubt, and like, you know, I'm not thinking it won't be, but getting into the holiday spirit a little bit early was a deliberate choice on my part, just because I was like really hoping that fall and seeing the leaves and having it be like 50, 60 degrees would be like really good for my mood, and that kind of just didn't happen this year. Like we didn't really get fall. We kind of went straight from like late summer into weird rain for a couple of weeks, and now it's full on winter. It's like freezing. It's cold. I didn't get to wear like intermediary jackets. I went from no jacket to my like most intense winter jacket. So it's I'm like, well, if I didn't get to have fall, then I'm just gonna launch right into Christmas, especially because like I always say I think the Christmas season's too short. I think ideally Christmas would be in like February, because Christmas, and obviously this is like, you know, super like Christian centric, right? Like, I mean, I'm not like a devout Christian or anything like that, but I mean, if you don't celebrate Christmas, this is probably like not as exciting to you. But for me, post-Christmas winter is such a drag. It's so depressing. It's so long. It's such a slog. And then on top of that, I feel like the Christmas season is too short. Like by the time that Christmas rolls along, especially if you're like, oh, I can't, no, excuse me. Marlo, I moved it. It's not there anymore, buddy. But if you wait till after Thanksgiving and then you're like busy, you get literally like less than a month to enjoy all the things Christmas has to offer. Like, it's just not enough time. And so I'm like, why don't we kill two birds with one stone here and move Christmas back, and then we can have longer to enjoy the season without as much stress, and we can eliminate some of the post-Christmas winter depression months. Like, I think it's kind of a win-win. Also, like, Christmas is fake. Like, Jesus, we don't know when Jesus was born. And if we do, it was probably in the spring. Like, Jesus is not a Capricorn. Like, think about it. There's no way Jesus is a Capricorn. I I could see Jesus being a Taurus. I truly could. Or a Gemini. Gemini Jesus. Hey Marlo, what's that hanging out of your mouth? What is it? What is it? What are you looking at? There's a mark on our ceiling and he thinks it's a bug. Every time he sees it, he thinks it's a bug. So today was very busy, kind of stressful, but I feel really good right now because my hair looks kind of cute and I'm wearing earrings that are like, can you tell they're like derpy whales? My makeup looked really good, but I took it off. I should have waited, but I don't know. I forgot. And yeah, I got paid, which is a great feeling. I don't really have anything to do tomorrow. I think I'm gonna go yarn shopping. Michael's is having a buy two get one free sale on yarn, which is really good. And I have like a lot of requests and like knitting and crocheting projects in the pipeline because Christmas is coming and there's like gifts and things, and so that's exciting. So I think I'm gonna have like a cool, fun me day tomorrow. So I'll try and vlog some of it. It'll be fun. So, okay, a demonstration. This is what a normal cat does when you pet them. They receive the pet. Sometimes they walk away, but they receive it, okay? This is what happens when you pet Marlo. He like puts his weird mouth, like he won't. Hello, Earthlings. I am wearing an awesome alien sweater. It's like super big and gigantic because it's a men's sweater, but sometimes they don't make fun things like this for women because fashion is stupid. So I'm about to go to Michael's for the yarn sale. I'm very excited. So I will go and do that and report back with what I find. So I might have gone slightly apeshit at Michael's, but in my defense, I don't have one. I don't have a defense. I just like craft supplies. Everything was super on sale. And I don't know, I just kind of, oh, hello. Have you come to weigh in? What do you think, Marlo? What's going on in that head of yours? I'm wearing a bow for extra daintiness while I, wear the skin of my enemies. This is a Yes to Cucumbers face mask. It's supposed to soothe your skin. I don't know if my skin needs soothing, but I ran out of the moisturizing kind. This one's kind of stinging my eyes a little bit, but we'll see. Figure my skin was kind of feeling like the dark green end of a sponge, so can't get it to. The other one fit my face better. This one's for like long-faced people. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that did anything. It made my face kind of less dry, but not as moist as the other one, the coconut one. Kind of burned while it was on, kind of stung my eyes. Not a fan. So don't get the cucumber one. Get the Yes to Coconuts. That one's better. Smells like a tropical vacation. Makes your skin like awesomely moist. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time I decide to vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up down below if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, happy early Thanksgiving.